Welcome to the Guide Life podcast by Whiskey Slews. This show is about the work, the hunts, and the real side of guiding. No filters, no fluff, just what it takes to build and run a hunting operation from the ground up. Every week we'll cover everything from land management to habitat work to the daily grind of guiding waterfowl upland and turkey hunts here in Nebraska. I'm Hunter Runge, CEO, guide, and the voice behind the blind.
The good news is today's episode we're going to be talking about scouting. We're going to kind of talk through keep it kind of broad, but what we're looking for, what we're thinking. You know, everyone's kind of starting to get back going again. The season's around the corner. We chatted a little bit about it on the episode you guys listened to just before this. We're ready to be back in the game. Right now, we're getting ready to start scouting, though. Bob starts scouting here in the next couple days. We'll all start running around here. Early season's dove and teal. What are you looking for in early season?
Well, to start things off, like when we head out scouting for the first time, you know, you're several weeks out from season. The bigger thing you're looking for is where's the food sources, where is the water, and, you know, like with doves, a couple things that I'm always looking for is you want to find a bunch of cedar trees because that's where they're going to spend their evenings. And then you need to have a water source nearby and a really good food source. The main food sources that, you know, typically we start the season off on are going to be near your feed yards. You catch them heading down to water, or, you know, maybe you've got a bunch of wild hemp or a bunch of musk thistles that didn't get sprayed. When the musk thistles start dropping seeds, they're going to get in there pretty thick. Depending on what you're looking at, a lot of your pasture forbs, if you can find where they've overgrown an area of a pasture, a lot of those forbs produce a lot of seed, and those doves will sit in there really well. Because most of our doves, you know, we're hunting them in pastures, especially, you know, those overgrown cedar tree pastures, or you got a good windbreak on them. The other thing you're going to start looking at is our wheat came out really early this year. And so when you're looking at that, most of it's greened over. You're not going to see the doves hitting it near as much. So you're going to go to your next option, which is going to be a lot of your cane fields that'll start coming out, you know, the first week of September a lot of times. And when they start bailing those, it leaves a lot of seed in those fields, which can make some tremendous dove hunting because they'll get all over it. But the best way I like to target those is if you can find a cane field that's freshly coming out that the birds have found, you know, if you can hit a water source nearby, they're all going to pinch point because our fields here are huge. So, like, if you've got 300 acres of cane, it's hard to be like, oh, they're going to want to be in this one spot of the cane field. Where if they're all going down to a quarter-acre pond, you want to be on that quarter-acre pond because that feed can support so many birds, but there's only so much water access. But if we get a ton of rain, that'll change things up a little bit because you're going to get puddles in those fields and stuff like that, and hunting those puddles can be great. But a lot of times those are in the middle of the field, which doves aren't too picky about your hide, but there's no cover out in the middle of those fields most of the time unless they've got bales sitting there that you can sit against. So that's something just kind of keep an eye out for is, you know, dove season, you're sitting on a 5-gallon bucket with your spinner most of the time, pretty laid back, but having a nice tree with some shade or a little bank to set your back up against is nice. It breaks up your shape, gets you into a comfortable position for a good night of shooting, especially the shade trees. If it's a hot day, a nice shade tree while you're shooting doves coming into water, it's hard to beat. But really just watching that. When you're looking at the ponds, you know, another big thing to consider is there a bunch of old dead trees near them, power lines, anything like that they can sit on. They really enjoy that. And then, you know, like when you do find them on a pond, find a nice dirt bank on that pond where they can dust themselves, get a drink as they come back from feed. They're going to spend more time there, which just means that it's more apt. You're going to get a good shot at them. And so just being there when they want to be there is huge. And then, you know, if you've got a bunch of ponds in an area and all of them have a little bit of birds, you're really wanting to key in on that area because you can split up your guys into groups of 2. And, you know, when you shoot into a group of 5, you might kill 1 or 2, and then they're going to go over, if they still need water, go over to the other pond, and somebody else is going to get some shooting and vice versa, and can just make for a really good shoot in an evening. But kind of watching for that. And then as far as, you know, like the teal go, really watching where the rainfall has been strong this year. We're going to see some flooded.
I want to talk about doves.
Oh, you want to talk about doves? All right, you start talking then. You looked half asleep over there, you zombie man.
I've always wanted to do something stupid. Have a bunch of guys hunt doves out of like an A-frame or a layout or even just like a mesh thing in front of them, just to give like a little bit of a backdrop or a little bit.
It's fun.
I bet they do some stupid shit.
You can put your spinner right on the A-frame then. Like put it in the stubble strap.
Hey,
Damn
hear me out. That sled over there that we screwed with, that'd be great for
That
doves.
is a dove hunting machine right there, boys.
pull the side by side up and drop the sled. All right, you two here, you two here,
I'm
you
telling
two
you,
here.
it'd be
Now,
great.
I will say we've taken them Burlap camo cloths before, and we've hung those up on posts in front of us on places you don't have a hide, just so it breaks up your shape.
Where'd you find olive green at, Sam?
What?
I don't think that's the name of the color. It's just this.
Oh, they make it okay.
What are we looking at here? Let's
Sorry,
see
we're
this.
looking at some
Y'all
stuff.
clothing shopping right now?
No, we've got a thing we're working out with this guy. And, they don't have, the frog skin's out of stock. They don't have that one. We're working out a deal with some buddies, and we're figuring out.
Looking at some bags.
Yeah. They don't have that one, Sam. They have the buckskin, the starburst, and the fallen timber. Anyways, I'd love to hunt doves. We got to do that. Although I feel like you get a lot of fucking weird faces. All right, guys, today we're gonna hunt these doves out of this layout blind.
Oh Jesus! Now if you do that, yeah. But I'll tell you what, some of them old boys, it'd be real good practice for them before duck season. They'd be professionals at getting up and out of a blind.
Yeah.
But
It would be fun. Like, think about some of those cut cornfields and stuff like that. You lay down in the layout blind, a little bit of or a little A-frame, even just a little mesh box thing like the sled. I think you'd mash them. I'd love to do it. Biggest
Would
thing
be
I like to
fun
look
for
for when
sure.
I'm scouting for doves is just, where's the bottleneck?
yeah, you find that pinch point. You know, there's times where there's water everywhere, but only one little source of hemp weeds. And I'll tell you a big thing to pay attention to, and this is something that took me a while to learn, but really pay attention to where your tall hemp and your sunflowers are, because the one thing that happens in September is you get a really foggy morning and those birds don't fly. You go walk those tall hemp patches and sunflower strips, and they're going to fly out of there so thick it's just ridiculous, and you can just hunt them like pheasants. And that is one of the best ways to save a slow morning if your birds aren't moving to feed, because they're going to be hunkered down in that tall stuff, and they love the hemp, and they love the sunflowers, and it just makes easy shooting. And they'll hold tight till you get about right up on them before they fly, and you can really burn them down that way. I've had some really fun shoots doing that. So that's on them foggy mornings. You always want to know that that's the pasture you're going to go to. That's where you're going to hunt. You want to be there. So really paying attention to that. Like, you may not even hardly see them in there in the days prior, but that's where they're going to go when that weather shifts.
Bob, you're like a dove whisperer.
I fucking love those
You
things.
also got to really pay attention to the weather when you're scouting doves, too. I mean, that's
hell.
everything.
If
but
it's gonna
like,
be 65 and cold with a little rain, you might as well just
it's gonna be tough to find them.
you might as well just get drunk.
Nah, you'll kill them. You'll always kill doves. You just got to know where to look. I fucking love them little fuckers. I'm ready to
sometimes
start
I
shooting them.
seriously think Bob gets more jazzed up for doves than he does for ducks.
I do sometimes. I love shooting doves. If I could go out and shoot doves every day, I would. They are probably one of my top favorite things ever to hunt.
Every day.
Every freaking day. I could shoot those things till my shoulder fell off.
Dove season's always like
And
just
they
a good
taste
month.
so damn good.
It's just a good month for me because like gets you all warmed up, gets the shoulder loose. It's not too hot because you can wear shorts most of the time. I love it. Now, when I'm scouting for teal, that's a little bit harder. Find the water, obviously, but
Find the food.
when I'm looking for teal, I'm looking for shallow water and a lot of food.
Lot of food. Dude, man, if you can find a big pink patch of smartweed all over a bunch of shallow, dirty ass, smelly ass water,
Teal.
they're going to find it.
You'll be there.
I mean,
I
I've had
love
spots
teal.
that I've been like, there's so much food and water right, and like the water's right here. You hunt it even without seeing the teal, and they'll be there in the morning. Like some days they're just in and out that quick. You just don't see them.
Yeah, I've hunted some spots too where it's like, where are these teal coming from? Because they're there, but it's like a small pond, all weeds. They're not roosting there. Where are they coming from? In the first hour, first 30 minutes every day.
I had this one spot. I used to hunt religiously growing up for teal. And every time I'd hunt it, I would never see the teal on there before I hunted it. But they would come in for like 30 minutes right at light, and then they'd all leave. They'd never stay there. They'd just come in, feed, and leave. And, man, I had some phenomenal shoots there. But, like, you would scout it, and you'd be like, ain't no teal. Or you might see, like, 4 or 5. You'd go hunt it the next day, and I had days where I'd see hundreds of them just show up. But the other thing with teal is when they're migrating through so much, everything can change so fast with teal. I mean, I scouted one spot, saw several thousand teal one day, went back to hunt it, not a freaking teal.
The big one I look for with teal as opposed to other ducks, like, you know, your mallards and your pintails and everything else, like most of the time you want to be near like some type of big reservoir or a river system or something else like that. I think with teal, a lot of the times what you're looking for is if you can find an area where there's multiple water pockets close to each
Multiple
other.
food sources,
It's
too.
not as much like you need a big river system or you
No.
need a big reservoir because it's such quick, fast-paced hunting
Well,
anyways. What you'd rather have is something where those birds bounce.
Well, and if you can watch, like, the rainwater, like we were talking earlier, that's key, because if you got an area where, you know, say one county just got smoked with rain over the summer, you've got all these food pools, you've got all this sheet water everywhere, there's going to be teal. No doubt about it. And they're going to be hopping around. Ugh. And, you know, especially, you got guys picking up pipe, you got, you know, everything, wells getting shut off that time of year where you're talking the first week of September. A lot of these little flooded holes, they're going to get bumped around and go hop to another one mid-morning as everybody's going about their chores. And, like, they're just going to be hopping, and you're going to catch them. It's a ball.
Get to go hunt some of these flooded fields. In Nebraska, our flooded stuff doesn't stick around for long. Once the wells go off, a lot of our flooded stuff dries up because we just don't see a bunch of rain. So, like, September and October, unless you're flooding it yourself like we do on our land, is the only time we hunt.
That was like, it's such a weird concept. Like, that just seems so normal to us. But, like, for example, like, I was just in Iowa 4 days ago. They don't have any pivots there because they just naturally get more rain and they're that close. So, like, you know how many flooded fields I saw there that are going to stay, too, because it just rains more there. It's weird. It's, like, that close to us, and they don't have pivots or anything. And here, it's like, as soon as our pivots stop running and everything, if it's not a big lake or something or deep pond, it's going dry.
That brings up a key point. You know, like, a lot of the teal holes you find aren't even necessarily from, like, the big rain late. They're from the early spring rains. And the reason I say that is when you get a really heavy rain in the spring, it kills the corn in there, and that corn doesn't come up in the low parts of the fields. Well, now a pivot sat there and watered that as if there was corn there, because you can't just shut off those couple sprayers for that little bit. And so that's where a lot of times your sheet water will build up because the corn just never came up. Mm-hmm. And so you'll get this pool there that's not even rainwater. It's just pivot water been running into there. And a lot of those are the hidden ones that guys don't look at, and they can be real good.
Mm-hmm. Little pond. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Out in the middle of a field that Farmer Joe tells you about because
Farmer Joe tells you to walk down this trail here.
He says, walk down row 36. I should have the gate 2 running on it right now, and let me know what you see. Yeah.
It's also kind of nice with teal, too, that you don't have to as much, like, cater to a hide. Like, and a lot of times, how many times does your hide dictate whether or not you hunt a place? Like, that happens a lot in the regular season. And so, like, with teal, don't be afraid to, you know, set up a panel blind in the wide open, and, you know, you can get away with things like that. So it kind of opens you up there as far as that goes, being able to get on different ground more accessibly.
Well, and a lot of the vegetation that you find teal in, there's hides, ample hides.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all flooded weeds, and the banks are just straight weeds.
Sometimes, though, they're in, like, a flooded soybean field, and you don't really have an option.
Yeah, that can be rough. That can be rough. 5-gallon bucket in the soybeans, boys.
Yeah.
Let's go get after.
Yeah.
best part about that too is like with teal season, they fly so fast. Everything's so fast paced. Like
teal and dove, they can both just be like
You can go
hectic,
to
fast
0 to
action for an hour, 2 hours, and
because it could be the most boring thing ever, right? not seeing nothing. Bam, there they are, 100 teal in your face out of nowhere.
yep.
Then they'll just shoot them. They'll gone. All of a sudden, best part when you shoot into a big group of teal, usually they spread apart. They make a big loop, and some of them come right back in.
Yeah. Well, especially like when you're hunting like a flyway, like the river or whatever. Man, you gotta be on your toes because if you don't see them coming, they're in the decoys and they're gone before anybody has a chance to shoot. You have to be watching.
I love it.
Teal are almost
It's
like
just such a good start.
they're one. Yeah, I was just getting to that. Like it's one of my favorite things ever. Starting the season, like starting the regular hunting season, is getting to a marsh and hearing teal talk because they talk like crazy in the mornings. Like mallards, you'll hear them quack every once in a while, but teal, no, the entire time they're like peeping
Some
and
little blue wingers. And,
doing their little joker laughs, and yeah, it just like teal really are a great like epitome to start the season and just like to take it all in. It's like just routine every year, and you always get that same feeling every single time on opener of like, wow, this is actually happening. It never fails.
yeah, it gets absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty dang excited. I get excited for doves, not as much as I get excited for teal. I still like to get out and still duck hunting, you know.
Yeah.
Doves are fun, though. I really do enjoy doves, and it definitely gets you ready to primes you on your shooting. Both of them, really, especially teal.
Yeah. Oh, man. I love that time of year. I am so ready to go chase teal in the mornings, doves in the afternoon. It'll be a fun time.
Now we're all just sitting here with half-hearted
Daydreaming, just like,
yeah. Well, guess what? It's gonna be 95 this weekend, and we can go grass some more blinds.
Go do some fishing.
Yeah, we are going fishing this weekend. That'll be fun. But
Doing that in the mornings or the evenings?
It's gonna be the evenings.
Oh,
Because we have to film the blind work in the mornings.
ooh.
Yeah. That episode of the Guide Life might be out by the time this podcast comes out.
Yeah.
It might be. Because I'm thinking this podcast will drop like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 weeks from now. Right before, like literally like day before season. Then here we are just talking about daydreaming.
I'm just sitting here daydreaming
I
and
know.
getting back in the field.
I know.
I'm so ready.
I think that's what has me
It's
so
within
excited
reach.
to go start scouting.
yeah.
Like, even though I don't scout that much, just used to go drive around and get the feel of it. Mm-hmm. Because, Bob, you do most of the scouting in September.
Oh, yeah. About time to go line up about, 30 good holes.
Yeah. Sir, can I hunt this teal hole? Sir, can I hunt your teal hole? Sir, you got a lot of doves. How would you
I'm
like
back for our yearly limited doves.
How would you
ready?
like to make some more money? Oh, man. The glory of season is so close. I think the worst part is like, dude, it's just a big old tease the month of August. I kind of talked about it in the last episode, but you're grass and blinds. You're getting ready. You're starting to scout. Your guns are here. Your guns
Early
are
goose season is kicking off in places. You're watching guys throw down stacks of geese.
I'm not really excited for early goose to start on Friday and us be like,
It starts Friday.
it starts on Friday. Early goose does in North Dakota. So years
Like
past,
this Friday?
today's the day that we always leave to go to North Dakota.
Oh, that breaks my heart.
And today we are not going to North Dakota. Damn. Even
Yeah,
more
my heart's broke.
even more heartbreak now too, yeah. I think too the bigger thing is North Dakota was our like small taste before the taste. Because he'd go for 4 or 5 days and he'd come back and then he'd wait that 10 or 12 days before season fully started here. But North Dakota was like the appetizer, and
That didn't even matter if you killed them. It was just getting
geese.
to go hunt.
That was the thing, is big Tonys. I mean, for us, that's so foreign because Nebraska got rid of their September goose season years ago. We don't have any. Our goose doesn't open till October 28th. Our duck opens on October 4th. Other than that, it's doves and teal until October. Like, think about it. We're like 45, more than 45. We're like 49 days away from duck opener, 50 days away from duck opener. But we're 19 days away from season. But North Dakota, we could be 2 days away from shooting Big Tony's. Shoulda went. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Josh, pack your shit. We're going north. Bring that boat of yours. We need it.
Oh God, that would be
killer,
pretty
wouldn't
wild.
it? We hop on that big water and go find the roost or go find the loaf and set up on the loaf on that big old
God.
on them big
You
old
don't need
lakes.
many decoys either.
Wouldn't that be fun? And that's the best part too. You show up at like you don't even go out till
So we
9
saying
a.m.
screw fishing?
Yeah, you don't even go out till 9 a.m. because you get to go set up there and dump your decoys in. And they come back about 11:30.
Don't even tempt a brother.
And then you're done right at lunchtime to get to go get some lunch and go relax. God, that sounds so fun right now.
Throw the decoys in the boat.
This is the type of shit that you start talking about, and then next thing you know, we get done with this podcast, and it's like, how can we make this work?
Literally.
I know how this ends up.
Sam's like, these boys are going to end up in North Dakota within a week.
I can't. Even if you guys
there
went,
was this,
I couldn't
there was
go.
this one day where I got an inkling right before show season. I went to Bob. I said, "You know what we should do today?" And he was like, "What?" We had no plans for it's Friday. We had no plans for the weekend. I looked at him. I went Lake McConaughey, and he was like, "Huh." And I went to Sam and I was like, Lake McConaughey. And like 4 hours later, we had an Airbnb booked and we were on our way to
You
Lake
and me
McConaughey.
went to North Dakota on a whim one year.
Did we?
Remember the year we went up and chased ducks?
I didn't think that was that on a whim.
It was pretty whimmy.
I thought we put it like a week or two in advance. I'm
Like
talking
a week or
4
two,
hours
yeah.
advanced. For
Shoot,
our
we went to
vacation.
Yankton to go fishing in 30 minutes of, well, should we?
Yeah, that did happen because I talked to Dante about it, and then I was like, nah. And then I
Then
woke
my,
up and I
my
was
second trip to South Dakota this summer, same way.
like, that was me where I was like, bro, just go.
Yeah.
Just go, bro. Yeah, that does
So
sound
we
like a lot
leaving
of fun.
tonight or tomorrow?
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call that episode here. So
He's
we can
gonna
plan
go
out.
pack is what he's
We can go
saying.
figure out how we're going North Dakota. But thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys want to check us out on socials, it's going to be at Whiskey Slews everywhere. If you guys are looking to book a hunt, you can call Grant 308-224-7289. You can check this out on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. But other than that, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode. See ya.